WBUR Podcasts, Boston.
I'm Daryl C. Murphy, and you're listening to The Common. All right, Erin Trahan, I hate to put you on the spot, but what is the best film you've seen recently?
Oh my goodness. I will say Banshees of Inisherin was my favorite movie of the last year. I was just blown away frame by frame. I'm not a Colin Farrell fan. He was spectacular.
What is the movie about?
The movie is about two guys who just have been friends forever. They're in, kind of pre-war Ireland off of Ireland. They've got a very simple life that is very routine and predictable. And one day, one guy just decides he doesn't like the other guy. And it unfolds a little absurdist, kind of like, what's the meaning of life? How can things change just overnight? And it's just funny in a really kind of biting way, but just beautifully constructed, beautifully written, beautifully acted, and actually beautifully shot as well. So,
all right. Well, I had to ask because you are a contributor to WBUR and you write about films. And you're here to tell us about all of the film festivals going on in the region this winter. Now, I got to say, I was not aware that Boston had such a robust film festival scene.
It is robust. It's like the perfect word for it. There is so much going on in this city at any given minute when it comes to the movies. I find winter to be the perfect time to hunker down and get in the theater and huddle and, eat your popcorn and hang out with strangers and watch something new happen. So, so there's a ton. And winter's not special, though, but it's special because there's certain festivals that always happen in these coldest, darkest months. So, yeah.
Okay. And are there any specific films you're really looking forward to seeing at these festivals?
I mean, if we're talking about all of them, it's hard to pinpoint just a film. Harvard Film Archive is launching something new, which is a deep dive into Chilean cinema, which is really an underseen, underrepresented part of Latin America cinema. I will confess, I don't know a ton about Chilean cinema, but I'm excited by the program that they have planned because it would give myself or anyone else a chance to see things that we couldn't see otherwise. And also with a new perspective, the programming is meant to kind of give an alternative history to the way people think about Latin American cinema. And so it's rich, it's deep. They're spanning from 1968 to 2013. There's multiple formats. They've got a bunch of women filmmakers. So that's exciting and interesting. And I can't even tell you what to expect from something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The Boston Sci-Fi Film Festival happens in February, which is an exciting and kind of, I don't want to say goofy celebration because sci-fi can be serious stuff. And certainly to people who are really into it. But this is a festival that also has fun. They have a time travel ball that they kicked off last year that they're going to do again. It's the kind of place where you can wear your pajamas all day and watch a 24-hour movie marathon if you want. Yeah, so there's plenty more.
Okay. Now, what about stuff for families? Are there any events kids can enjoy?
So even though part of the festival happened in person, the Belmont World Film Family Festival is available online, and there's a bunch of great stuff to still see online with kids ages 3 to 12. One is the annual Mo Willems shorts. He's this great guy from Western Mass, beloved author, children's author. Another are the shorts adapted from Scholastic books made by Weston Woods. They're celebrating their 70th anniversary, and this festival's turning 20, so that's a kind of cool thing, and there might be more to come on that later this year. My kids saw a couple of those with me, and they were really excited because they were familiar with the stories because they'd read the books. So that's
nice.
Part of exactly what this festival is designed to do, is to encourage reading, encourage viewing, and a love of stories, as well as to encourage international movie going. There's a lot to check out online as well, including the Dr. Martin Luther King Shorts program, which is one of their annual features, and I think especially appropriate for Bostonians this year. Those are also going to be online after the festival in-person events wrap up.
We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more from Erin Trahan.
Did you kill Marlene Johnson?
I think you're one of the first people to have actually asked.
From WBUR and ZSP Media, this is Beyond All Repair, a new podcast about an unsolved murder that will leave you questioning everything.
Somebody should be in jail for murdering my sister.
A woman who's never been believed.
As long as they think I have done this, then they're not looking for who actually did this.
And that's what makes it a cold case.
No, it's a botched case.
And a search for the truth, once and for all.
Wow, it just gets more interesting.
Beyond All Repair. Listen and follow wherever you get your podcasts.
Be careful. You're digging in a place that's been very peaceful for a while.
Do it anyway. Dig.
And we're back. These sound like a lot of fun. And, you brought up some of the Chilean films. What are some other movies or other countries that are contributing films that we may not be familiar with?
So another returning festival that hasn't been able to happen since COVID is the Festival of Films from Iran. It's one of the Museum of Fine Arts in-house festivals. And that's taking place with 3 recent releases. So 3 movies, one of which is shortlisted for Best International Feature at the Academy Awards for the folks who like to follow that, called Holy Spider. And then also a restoration of a film from 1984. We've been seeing Iran in the headlines with all of the protests going on. This is a way to look at those issues and realities in a new way through the artists who either hail from there, are working there, or now, can't work there and need to be making their movies as expats, so to speak. So another festival that I'm really excited about their lineup is the Boston Baltic Film Festival. When I talked with the organizers a year ago, it was just days before the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And, that was definitely top of mind, even though the festival organizers wanted to keep an optimistic outlook. Yeah. The reality of those different nations and then the art that they produce as a result, you can learn so much. And I did. I watched all those films last year and I learned a lot. And I'm very eager to see what will be happening at that festival this year as a result.
Yeah, so why are there so many international films in these film festivals?
It's a great question. It's actually a really hard question. Movie theaters aren't necessarily geared towards showing international films, and our movie-going audiences here in the U.S. don't always want to read subtitles. Art house cinemas have a history of showing foreign language movies, but even those movies are there's only certain ones that break through. So that pipeline can be very narrow and very small. And Boston's film festivals are just one way to really open the door and bring more of what's actually going on out there in the world, in global cinema, to Boston.
Got it. And so with that, I want to bring it back to Boston. Will any of these films featured in some of these festivals, will they have any ties to the region?
There are always ties, and it can actually be kind of a fun detective game to find them. I'm always looking and asking, and I don't always even find it. I sometimes find out after the fact. One example is the Belmont World Films Family Festival has a Mo Willems shorts collection. He's a beloved children's author who lives in Western Massachusetts. You know, I mentioned the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Shorts program. It's an especially good time to see those shorts with your kids and talk about Dr. King and Coretta Scott King's history in the city. I think it gives you an opportunity for that.
Go down there and see the Embrace on Boston Common.
Yes, exactly. If you kind of do further afield, Boston Sci-Fi will probably be having a shorts program that has some local filmmakers involved. They haven't yet announced their lineup, but you could be finding some Boston filmmakers there. And guess what? You'll also always be finding Boston filmmakers in the audiences of these festivals.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to reach as far down south as Rhode Island, Moonrise Kingdom is playing at the Coolidge as part of a series called Love on the Run, which is a kind of an alternative way to celebrate Valentine's Day in the month of February, I suppose.
Okay.
So that movie was shot partially in Rhode Island. And you can even visit some of those shooting locations in person if you want and take a selfie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we close, I want to ask you something. Maybe it's controversial. Maybe not. I don't know. But is Boston a film town?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why would that be controversial? I think
don't know.
I was really bracing myself. It is now, but when you look back, I mean, you can trace so many film critics to Boston. Back when Boston had, more than one full-time paid film critic, there was a time when there were maybe even a dozen or so. Some really fantastic people got their start at the Phoenix. Even in these times when we are worried, rightfully, about the theatrical experience and movie theaters being able to make it, I really think Boston is still thriving and is just a fantastic place to make movies, to watch movies, to talk about movies.
Mm-hmm. Well, understood. Well, Erin, thank you so much for talking with us. This was a lot of fun. Hope to catch some of these film festivals and see a good movie, What's the other one? Banshees of
Inisherin.
Okay, I'm making a note.
I know. Now I feel like I got to just make lists and lists and... Oh, wait a second. I did. It's up on WBUR.
Exactly, right? Oh, man. Erin, thank you so much.
Thank you, too. I really appreciate being here.
That's WBUR film writer Erin Trahan. And that's our show for today. Thank you so much for listening to The Common. Hit us up on Instagram or Twitter at WBUR The Common, or send us an email at thecommon@wbur.org. I'm Daryl C. Murphy. I'll talk to you tomorrow.